A 90-Day Fiancé cast member is schooling fans about why he will be seen in an upcoming spin-off when he was clearly not together with his partner in the previous one. 90 Day. The Last Resort Season 2 premieres in December 2024 and has 6 couples from across shows in the 90-Day Fiancé universe. It's now known that most of these 90DF couples are no longer together. Some cast members have been flaunting their new boyfriends and girlfriends on social media. However, one couple is getting the most criticism for choosing to get couples therapy in Arizona. Rob Warren is setting the record straight about why he chose to do 90 Day, The Last Resort with Sophie Sierra, and claiming it wasn't for the check. Rob recently took to Instagram to share a lengthy story about his decision to do The Last Resort with Sophie, even though they were not together, via 90-Day Fiancé _Alexa. Rob explained that during 90-Day Fiancé Season 10, he was living in the same condition he had been living in during the 2.5 years that he dated Sophie long distance. He was working full-time and using the money to see her no matter the distance. He moved to Austin during Happily Ever After Season 8, where they had an inside bathroom, duvets, blankets, a job, a 2023 car, etc. Getting to 90-Day Fiancé The Last Resort, Sophie and I weren't together leading up to it. But being married always meant the world to me, and doing everything I could to make it work was important. Even though they had a turbulent marriage leading up to it, Rob was willing to take advantage of the opportunity so he could make their marriage work. Rob addressed rumors that he was doing it for a check. He called these claims dismissive to the reality that marriage is worth fighting for. Rob added that only those who truly respect it can understand why he and Sophie would show up for each other even after all the issues. So, all of that being said, I hope you enjoy this upcoming season, Rob added. What Rob's slamming fans questioning his storyline with Sophie means. Is Rob just hungry for attention and more 90-Day Fiancé appearances? Rob and Sophie had already filmed 2 different shows when they were introduced in 90-Day Fiancé Season 10. The show seems to have seen potential in the couple's storyline to have trusted them with multiple spin-offs even before their debut. Rob and Sophie had also already separated when they debuted in 90-Day Fiancé Season 10. The next best show for them to star in would have by default been 90 Day, The Last Resort Season 2. It was because the couple had not divorced yet, and Rob seemed eager to make things work. Rob was putting in more effort to save their marriage than Sophie was. 90 Day, The Last Resort could have made him realize it wasn't worth the effort. Rob was roped in for another show which he filmed in October 2024 that's based on the 90-Day House concept. Rob seemingly met Jennifer Terrazona while filming and is currently dating her. If things work out between them, then Rob and Jennifer might get cast in a new season of Before the 90 Days or 90-Day Fiancé itself. It's how the cycle continues for 90-Day Fiancé cast members. Our take on Rob confirming he did not do 90 Day, The Last Resort for money. Did Rob really need money? Rob was accused of being jobless during his 90-Day Fiancé Season 10 debut when he was supposedly working 3 jobs at the time. Rob is trying to make fans understand that it was never about money for him. All he wanted to do was to fix his marriage, even though Sophie didn't seem to be interested in meeting him halfway. Considering his popularity, Rob will surely be a part of more shows in the future, and he should brace himself for more criticism. Still, by now, Rob must be used to it all. Vea Netherton's new face is concerning. Is she too thin after her recent weight loss? 90-Day Fiancé. Before the 90 Days star Vea Netherton confuses fans with the way she looks different in every picture, but has her weight loss completely transformed her appearance? Vea is a 27-year-old from Florida currently starring in Season 7 of the 90-Day Fiancé spin-off. Vea met the 26-year-old Sunny Mahdi on a dating app. Vea dated Sunny for a year before deciding to fly to Durham to meet him. However, Vea decided to take her ex-boyfriend turned best friend Rory along because she was anxious as she'd never flown to a different country. Vea and Sunny have been dealing with trust issues, and now, Sunny also wants Vea to convert to his religion. Vea put her foot down when it came to converting, but Sunny will have to convince his family to accept Vea. Sunny is also not over Vea getting Rory to South Africa and believes she has some pent-up feelings for her ex. While Sunny is asking Via to choose between him or Rory, 90 Day Fiancé viewers are trying to see which version of Via they see on their TV or phone screens is what she looks like in reality. What Via looked like in childhood. Via had a rough upbringing. Both of Via's parents were drug addicts. She has anxiety stemming from things that happened in her childhood. Via has 7 siblings, but all the 8 kids could never live together because of her parents' addiction issues. Via and her brothers and sisters were in and out of foster care a lot. Via spent a lot of time in foster care. Her foster parents couldn't relate to her at all. Via realized that they were not understanding her needs and her emotions were dismissed. Via has posted pictures from her childhood on Instagram. She had a Pentecostal upbringing. In her throwback photos from when she was a little girl, Via still has the same sweet smile and kind eyes. She has long, dark eyebrows with a dimpled smile. Via's chin is pointed even in her childhood pictures. Via has always had dark hair, but she began experimenting with hair color when she grew up. Via also lost most of the roundness of her features to get a more structured facial appearance. Via when she was 18 years old. This is how Via looked in 2014. Via recently shocked her Instagram followers when she shared a picture of her at 18 years old. Reposted by 90 Day Fiancé blogger Shabuti, the photo shows Via wearing a sequin top with cold shoulders and tight gray jeans that she wore with fur-lined boots. Via's hair is what looks out of place. It's red and big, which makes her look like the picture was clicked in the 90s and not in 2014, which is when the now 27-year-old Via would have been 18. Someone even compared her to Priscilla Presley from the 60s. What Via looked like when she was pregnant. Via, unfortunately, lost her and Rory's baby. During one of her scenes in Before the 90 Days, Via came clean about her dark past that involved a pregnancy. Via said that she was pregnant with Rory's baby but lost the pregnancy. The day that Via went into labor was also the same day as her brother's funeral. Via's brother was killed by law enforcement. Via had shared a picture of her pregnant as she stood sideways in a public bathroom to click a selfie. As Via showed off her baby bump, a little of her face was visible. Via had gained considerable weight during her pregnancy. Via uses a lot of face filters. Why does Via use a new filter every single time? What fans scrolling through Via's Instagram profile have often noticed is how different she looks in these photos when compared to how she looks on 90 Day Fiancé. Via likes to switch up her look using hair color and wigs, but she also uses a lot of filters to change the way her face looks in pictures and videos. Via often uses ones that blur out her features, giving her a very unnatural, pasty appearance. A post Via shared in July 2024 has her documenting all of her hair color changes through the years. While revealing her purple, pink, blonde, green, and black hair, Via didn't share a single picture that was without a filter. Via ended up looking like a different person altogether in each of the selfies. One of Via's followers, Elizabeth_Hollenbeek, told her great pics, but that's super not what you really look like. The filters are fun, but you don't need them. Via did not respond to the fan and is yet to comment on her excessive filter use. Via has discussed her weight loss struggles. Via had an eating disorder. According to 90 Day Fiancé blogger Mary Pants post from November 2024, Via is a survivor of sex trafficking at the age of 17. She was mentioned in an article by Investigate West, which had launched an investigation into Community Outreach Behavioral Services, a nonprofit in Idaho that was accused of exploiting human trafficking victims for Medicaid fraud. Via had sought treatment at a COBS steakhouse. She had been struggling with an eating disorder following the loss of her child and brother and described the COBS environment as oppressive and cult-like. What Via looks like on 90 Day Fiancé. Via has fans questioning her age. Recent episodes of 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days Season 7 have left fans confused because of Via's very different looks in segments of her Talking Heads interviews. Via's appearance in her first episode itself raised eyebrows, with viewers questioning if 27 was her real age. Via looked extremely young in some of her clips. while she had a mature-looking face in half of them. Further adding to confusion about Via's real face and age are her latest confessional segments, as pointed out by Reddit user An Obscure Game. The Redditor shared 2 screenshots showing Via's confessional interviews from the same segment of the same episode and asked if it was really the same person. The fan wrote that Via looked completely different, so much so that it almost looks like a stand-in or maybe a secret twin sister. In one of the screenshots, Via has visibly higher cheekbones, her face is narrower, and even her eyes look very different, with her nose looking straighter, and it wasn't just due to makeup. Via lost lots of weight after filming 90 Day Fiancé. Via currently weighs 90 pounds. As significant Moist 7,747 pointed out, sometimes the talking heads are recorded years apart. It depends on whether a couple's storyline needs more commentary and context. The bits where Via looks slimmer could likely be recent, especially since she's lost a lot of weight after coming back home from South Africa. The reality TV Mess had reposted an Instagram story shared by Via where she had posted a mirror selfie to reveal her weight loss. A couple of months after Via came home, she started getting sick and went from doctor to doctor, yet no one could figure out what happened to her. Via wrote that she became so sick that she was bedridden, and it would hurt for her to swallow. She was hospitalized a few times and started to lose a lot of weight. Via currently weighs 90 pounds, and she is still trying to figure out her mystery illness. However, she seems to have finally found the right doctors to treat her. I have my good days and bad days, the 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 Days star added, "What job does Niles Valentine do for a living? Matilda Anti needs his money." 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 Days star, Niles Valentine is a hardworking man, but he doesn't have the money that Matilda Anti keeps demanding for their wedding. Niles is a 27-year-old man from Mobile, Alabama. Niles had met the 23-year-old Matilda on social media after she had sent him a DM out of nowhere. Niles is an autistic man and didn't think that love was possible for him in his lifetime. Niles flew to Ghana to meet Matilda in person in Season 7. However, Matilda didn't just want to see Niles on this trip, she wanted to marry him. Matilda was in a rush to come to the US and had already planned a grand wedding to expedite the process. What Matilda didn't know was that Niles' family did not think she was the right match for him, and Niles, too, wanted to push the wedding because of money issues. Matilda wasn't factoring in Niles' financial difficulties while expecting him to bear all the costs of her fairy tale wedding. Matilda is pushing Niles to give her money for their wedding. Matilda was living in poverty in Ghana. Matilda took Niles to her family home on before the 90 days to meet her loved ones and show Niles around. Niles saw that Matilda didn't really have a kitchen in the house, and the plantain that her mother sold in the market was strewn all over the floor of a different room. Niles said that he had seen a little of Matilda's house when they spoke on video chat, but it felt different when he saw the condition of the place. There was no running water, barely any furniture, and dirt floors. It made sense that Matilda wanted to move to the US. Matilda was upset with Niles postponing their wedding, but a different ceremony called knocking was now planned, where Matilda's family needed 3,000 cedis or $249 for the food alone. Matilda hoped Niles would agree to bear the costs since she never wanted to be disgraced in front of her family again. However, Niles did not really budget for the ceremony this size on this trip. He hoped postponing the marriage would give him a little more time to get some funds together. Niles works as a peer advocate. Niles was working at the Center for Independent Living during filming. Niles had shown fans around his workplace during his first episode in Season 4. Niles explained that he always loved standing up for people who were just like him, so they could become the best versions of themselves. He said that it was the reason he loved his job as a peer advocate. Niles had gone around greeting everyone on his team and replying, "I'm still here for the most part," when someone asked him how he was doing. He explained that he usually considers repetition a good thing because it provides him with security and the status quo. Niles was shown discussing with his colleagues that since his trip was coming up, he needed someone to take over the assistive technology class. Niles' LinkedIn profile reveals that he is a software developer and self-published author. He has been employed as the executive director of the Alabama Department of Mental Health since January 2024. Niles writes that in addition to his recent work with Revitcher and its myriads of training programs and boot camps, as it concerns software development, he has also done numerous freelance projects that involve the use of Java, web application development, and Visual Basic Code. He is always willing to put in time on his own to learn and develop his skills as they are required. Previously, Niles worked as a self-employed contractor. He has been a freelance writer and freelance editor for over 14 years, along with being a game programmer, full-stack developer, author, and an information technology and independent living specialist from November 2022 to June 2024 at the Center for Independent Living of Mobile, which was the office that was shown during Niles' interview on episode 4. Did Niles overcome his money problems? Niles was working multiple jobs to fund his Ghana trip. The cost of Niles' trip had kept adding up more than he expected. Niles confessed that his financial situation wasn't the best. He had already brought disgrace upon Matilda's family by canceling the wedding. He didn't know what would happen if he disappointed them again. Niles has been doing deliveries after he was done with his day job to make extra money. Niles knew he was going to spend at least $3,000 in Ghana. But considering the wedding may not have taken place, Niles may have had to spend much less on 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 days. Are Joe Cohn and Magdalena Slachta still together after 90 Day Fiancé? Before the 90 Days Season 7. 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 Days couple Joe Cohn and Magdalena Slachta, aka Magda's relationship status after Season 7 has been revealed. The popular 90 Day Fiancé spin-off has introduced fans to 8 brand new couples with storylines that have been all sorts of dramatic. So far, in the season, only 7 couples had been showcased, and with 10 episodes done, the final couple, Joe and Magda, have finally been unveiled. Joe is the American man in the relationship who's flying to Poland to meet Magda for the first time in person. Joe is 34, and he lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. Joe was born and raised in New Jersey and had an amazing life growing up in a close-knit Italian family. Joe's family wants to watch him getting married because they think he doesn't take his life seriously. However, Joe's priorities shifted after he met Magda. Magda is Joe's 23-year-old girlfriend who wants to marry him ASAP. While Joe is a successful realtor from Florida, Magda has no interest in his money. However, there are some obvious red flags that both Joe and Magda are ignoring on the show. How did Joe and Magda meet? Joe and Magda met in the U.S. 5 months before he began filming for 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 days, Joe happened to be videoed chatting with a friend who was in Miami. He caught Magda in the background. Joe's friend passed her phone to Magda because she was driving, and Joe and Magda had a brief interaction. He felt there was definitely attraction between them, but Magda informed Joe she was from Poland and was just visiting the U.S. Magda was actually on her way to the airport to fly home, so he didn't think there was any chance of them meeting again. I think she's funny, like she's smart. However, Magda stayed in Joe's head, so he kept messaging her, which turned into every day talking for hours. Joe explained that Magda was always participating in tournaments because of her interest in volleyball. She didn't want to say that she was perfect, but added that she kind of is. He mentioned the amazing body that Magda has. Even though they were thousands of miles apart, Joe and Magda were doing everything together on video chat except pooping. Joe had never felt this way with anyone before. He was in awe of the amazing connection they developed in 5 months. Magda left her job to come to the U.S. Magda wants to marry Joe and have his kids ASAP. Joe's family was apprehensive of him dating Magda because she was 10 years younger than him. Joe had convinced his family that Magda was mature for her age because she was pretty, focused. Magda wasn't a professional volleyball player, but she used to work as a corrections officer when she met Joe. Joe revealed that Magda quit her job because she wanted to come to the U.S. When Joe asked Magda what she wanted to do in America, she told him she wanted to be a mother. Magda had been extremely direct with her intentions when talking to Joe. She told him that she wanted to come to America so they could get married and have children very soon. For that to happen as quickly as Magda wanted, Joe had the added pressure of proposing to her on the trip. The idea of starting a life with her was exciting, but Joe wasn't sure if he was ready for all that at the moment. She wants kids right away, Joe admitted. Joe's family insisted Magda wanted to lock him down for his money. Joe cheated on Magda after he met her. Joe never stopped dating other people after meeting Magda. Joe was chatting with his group of friends when he told them that things were tense between him and Magda. They had a huge fight because Joe was still talking to other women after they met, while Magda had stopped talking to everyone. Joe had sexual intercourse with someone 2.5 months ago. Magda didn't react positively to the news. Magda had found out when she randomly asked Joe about the last time he had sex with another woman. Joe had done it because at that point he thought they were just getting to know each other. Joe hadn't told Magda about his ex-turned-best friend. Joe used to date a woman named Jill from his friend group. Magda was upset that Joe was talking to other women and demanded that he share his live location with her. Magda wasn't familiar with Joe's past, including the fact that he had dated his friend Jill a while ago. Joe said that it was 6 years ago, and they had dated under a year, so he didn't think it was important for him to tell Magda. Joe did not think Magda was going to be happy that he was friends with an ex. Magda doesn't want to be intimate with Joe on his Poland trip. Magda refused to sleep with horny Joe. Magda was suspicious and probably keeping tabs on Joe after he told her about his cheating scandal. Joe wanted to make Magda realize that they could work out and be in a successful relationship. He was very excited to finally be able to hold her, touch her, kiss her, smell her, feel her while using all his senses instead of just two, which were hearing and vision. He expected their chemistry to be excellent in person. However, Magda told Joe it was not a good time for them to sleep together because they had to know each other first. Joe insists his romance with Magda is authentic. Joe claims they are not actors. Joe was asked to share details about his relationship with Magda in his interview with ET. Joe said that fans will be able to see his connection with Magda on the show. While neither of them are actors or know how to act, he thinks fans will judge how real their connection is by realizing that Joe and Magda really love each other. Joe thinks it's crazy that a 23-year-old is so clear about getting married and having kids, but he also appreciates that Magda is clear about her intentions and her heart. Joe and Magda are still going strong. Joe and Magda are boyfriend and girlfriend. While Joe did not confirm his relationship status in the interview, the 90-day fiancé, before the 90 Days star's social media offers ample clues. Both Joe and Magda are flaunting their partners' names in their bio on Instagram using king and queen emojis. In November 2024, Joe posted a picture of himself and Magda in Krakow, Poland, even though there aren't any older photos of them together. Magda also recently made her relationship with Joe Insta official by posting a snap captioned, "You make me better person." Varia Molina shares surprising update on Jeffrey Paschal's early release amid 18-year prison sentence. Varia Molina from 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 Days recently discussed Jeffrey Paschal's incarceration and potential release. Originally from Russia, Varia moved to the United States to be with Jeffrey. Unfortunately, their relationship experienced a setback after Jeffrey's previous girlfriend accused him of domestic abuse, leading to his imprisonment. In February 2022, a court found Jeffrey guilty of aggravated kidnapping, interference with emergency calls, and domestic assault, resulting in an 18-year prison sentence without the possibility of parole. Jeffrey then appealed to the Supreme Court, but his appeal was ultimately denied. Varia is still in a relationship with Jeffrey and enjoys sharing their recent updates on social media. Recently, Varia hosted a Q&A session on Instagram, revealing some unexpected details about her boyfriend's prison status. When a social media user inquired, "Is it possible for Jeffrey to get out early for good behavior?" Varia responded, "Not earlier than after serving 15 years. However, she shared some positive news with her fans, stating, "But his post-conviction appeal looks really good," and included a fingers crossed emoji to convey hope. Varia also informed another fan that Jeffrey is doing as fine as he can in one of the deadliest U.S. prisons, mentioning that she visits him as frequently as possible. What does Varia's comment on Jeffrey's appeal mean? The appeal filed by Jeffrey in 2022 was denied. Varia's response reveals important details about Jeffrey's prison release. The Russian woman initially mentioned Jeffrey's appeal between 2022 and 2023. She explained that her boyfriend had filed the appeal and was waiting for the results. Later, Varia mentioned that Jeffrey's appeal followed all the necessary rules and expectations. She expressed hope for a favorable outcome. Unfortunately, Jeffrey's appeal was unsuccessful. In late 2023, Varia took to her Instagram to share that the court had denied her boyfriend's appeal. The 90-Day Fiancé franchise cast member broke down in tears and appeared unhappy and lost. Varia's latest update regarding Jeffrey's appeal suggests that he has likely filed a second appeal. It seems he's more optimistic about his post-conviction appeal, which Varia believes looks promising. The ongoing legal process appears to have given Varia confidence. She is hopeful for a positive outcome and eagerly anticipates reuniting with her boyfriend. Her consistent updates about her relationship indicate she hasn't given up on Jeffrey. She cherishes their relationship and is willing to wait for him, even if it takes him 15 years to return to her. Varia has unwavering loyalty to Jeffrey. Our take on Jeffrey's post-conviction appeal. Varia refuses to give up on Jeffrey despite his prison sentence. While Varia has faith and trust in Jeffrey, it's also understandable some fans don't support her decision. Netizens believe that Varia is wasting her time waiting for a man with a very low chance of being released in the next 15 years. They want Varia to move on and spend her prime years with someone with whom she can build a future. However, Varia doesn't care what her critics think. She believes in feelings and listens to her heart. It's difficult to blame the 90-Day Fiancé before the 90 days alum for holding on to hope. Subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Always be the first to get news. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, USA Celebrity Corner 24. Thank you for watching.